All right, so this is the first part of assignment instructions video. I will be making this video for description about the assignments, as I said, as I told you. Now I will be just starting, and it's already recording. So I hope you can see my screen. So the first thing that you have to do is that you have got a folder of assignment 1, and let me just show that to you. You've got an assignment folder, and that folder is this assignment 1, and my folder, it's basically residing. If you can see that where it is residing, so I'm just giving you instruction how you will just open about it. So it's opening, it's inside my C users documents, this folder. So what I'm doing is that first of all, you have to go in your terminal, you have to go to this directory. So I'm just going directly to this directory. Now I'm inside right now assignments 1, and I have to be inside assignment like A1. The folder name is A1 if your folder name is A1. And if I show you dir, so you can see there are a number of folders. So first of all, make sure that you have got these things, dir. You can see when you are doing dir, this .vs code, src, eslint, gitignore. So there are lots of things that you see, package.json. So if you are here, it means you are at the right place. So and the same thing you have to do in your Visual Studio Code. Just go to this if you are not familiar. And you remember I've told you one of the way shortcut, but now I'm telling you the long way. Go to open folder, and in open folders you go to, as I've seen, this is my assignment A1. So I've gone inside A1. So now you all should be looking at this A1 folder, which is over here. And in the same way as you were looking at my other folder, now you can see that there are VS Code, .VS Code, there is src, dot something. So this is a structure of these assignment folder that you see. So if you see something like this, and if you open this src, you will find this problem 00, problem 01, up to problem 10. And then you will find a file which is solutions. So first of all, the first important thing, this file is called JSON. And as I said in the other video, I'll be explaining all these things, but right now what you have to do is just follow me up. And if you open this JSON like package.json, you'll find a number of dependencies over here. As I said, I will be telling you that what are these dependencies in the other video. So you will find these dependencies over here. First of all, the first thing that we need to do, I'm again going back to my folder. So the first thing you need to do is that install dependencies. Install dependencies means that we need few other softwares. We need other dependencies, other libraries to properly run our assignment. So you remember, if you have successfully installed Node and you do Node -- version, you will find the Node version. I need you to check another thing, which in another video I will tell you about, but right now you have to just check that whether that is also installed into your npm. That is npm. Let me just make it a bit bigger. npm and then -- version. And this npm is, you can say that it installs with your Node as well. So if you have checked both of these things, that means you are good to go. And now we are starting to how we'll solve this assignment. Now, the first thing that you need to do over here is, as I said, that you need to install all the dependencies, those dependencies that you have seen in package.json. I've shown you that there are certain dependencies. Let me quickly name few of them, and then it will install those. You can find there is something called a eslint, there is something called a jest, there is something called prettier. So we'll run all, etc. So all these dependency you need to install. And how we will install that? By using one command that I'm going to give you over here. And that command is npm space install. It's a space, right? There should be one space in that. Let me just make it a bit more small so that you can see both in the same line. Okay, yes. So now you can see that in the same line. So you need to do what? The first statement that you will run is npm install and press OK, like enter. Now, what it is doing is that all those dependencies that were defined in package.json, it's downloading them, it's installing them, and we will have one, you know, uh, all these packages being installed in that. And we'll see the difference in our folder structure as well. There will be few things that folder will be having, and we'll see that what are those things. So let it first do what it is doing. So it's effectively it's taking care of what we need to run this assignment. It's just taking care of everything what we need to run in that assignment. And as I said in the other video, I will just explain each and everything what is going on, and I hope you would understand that as well. So by the time it's going on over there, you see this is structure. We have got this. These are a problem. 10 problems are there, and there is a solution over there. So what you have to do is you have to work in this solution file. In this solution file, you will find complete instructions alongside few solutions. Now, let me just show you quickly, and then we'll move to that our environment again. So if you see that there are lots of things, you have to just first of all rename this one with submission date, whatever. And then if you see here, there are lots of JavaScript functions. Some of them are looks like complete, some of them are not complete. If you go here, there's a function. You have to replace this with your value. And if you see here, if you go here, you see there is a function create img. You have to complete this. So there are lots of functions over here that you need to work on. So effectively, when you'll be solving your problem, you will be working on these solutions, and these are our problems. So I'll come back to that, but first of all, let us see what this npm install has done over here. So it has installed something. It has says that it has added 874 packages. So now if you go here, do you see something change? Node modules. These node modules contain all those required dependencies that we need to run our file. I hope that is making sense to everyone. And one of them, if you remember, we saw that ESLint was something. We'll talk about that in another video. And there was just something. Let me show you that as well. There was just something. So we have installed just. So effectively, this npm install has installed everything that we need to run our programs. So see here, it says that 874 packages were downloaded or installed. So now we are let's move forward. All right. So in this solution file, as I discussed, the solution file which is right now open. If you see the solution file, let me just make it a big smaller so that we can see more than that, or maybe just make it a bit bigger for some time. Right, let me minimize it, and I'm just explaining this one. So as I said, there are different functions that you need to work on, and you will be filling out those functions. Effectively, you will be just working on those functions, right? And we have already discussed functions in our previous classes. So you can have you have a bit of concept of functions, but you will be needing extra practice to work on that. The practice questions, if you have done, the practice questions will give you a very good practice of how you can work on these functions. So there are lots of comments being made, and you can always read those comments out. And after reading those comments, you can know that what you have to do and what you does not. So basically, that requires a lots of reading on your side as well, because there are lots of things given over here, and you can always go on the references and just find out what is over there. So that needs a good amount of reading from you. So please, again, I would be happy to answer any questions, of course, whenever you have a question. But having said that, you have to just go through all these things before just asking anything, because there are lots of things that if you will be asking, that is already given over there. Okay, so now if you look at, this is the solution file where you have to work. I think this should be clear to everyone. Now let's come to the problems. If I come to the problem 00 first, for example, This is the problem description. Now you have to read this problem description. So you have to do a lots of reading, as I said, and this jest and all those things. I will be discussing that, but you have to just go through through these things. So these problems are basically something called a unit tests. These are the unit tests written, and unit test is something that will be testing your code. Now, what does that mean? You will be writing a code in this solution. For example, you will be doing something with this function greeting, and this problem 00 will be doing what? It will be going and testing that whether you have written down the right JavaScript or not. Those who are familiar with the testing concept, if you are not familiar, that's not a problem that much. But again, if you are familiar with the testing, you know that we want to test that whether our code has been written according to some requirements. So I think that should be enough for the timing. But now let's for the timing, let's ignore this const greeting require. I will tell you what is this require. It basically include same like in C language you used to do hash include, something like that. It's require. So first of all, it describes. So again, there is something called describe problem 0 greeting. It's a problem 0 greeting function, and this is basically, rather I should call it not problem 0.